My dad can buy this whole court and turn it into a parking lot. Those were the first words I heard from the young man standing in front of me in Providence Municipal Court. I did not ask his name yet. I did not ask his side yet. He just threw those words into the air like they were a drink he could spill and laugh about. I looked at him from my bench. I saw a 19-year-old kid with perfect hair, a tight designer jacket, and a face that said he had never been told no and had to accept it. His jaw was set. His eyes were glossy, not just from anger, but from something else too. He tried to hide it. I have seen that look before. Behind him, his lawyer wore a calm smile, the kind that says, "We will talk our way out of this." In the first row, two men in black suits sat stiff like statues. They watched the room like it was a movie set, and I could feel it. That silent buzz that happens when the whole courtroom senses trouble, like a storm in the air before the rain hits. I kept my voice steady because that is my job. I am Judge Frank Caprio. I don't win by yelling. I win by staying fair. I leaned forward and said, "Young man, in my courtroom, we don't talk like that." He smirked like I was a teacher he planned to ignore, and if you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. The bailiff's voice rang out, clear and sharp. Case 2026 TR 784-2, State of Rhode Island versus Landon Vexler. I heard a few quiet gasps in the gallery, not loud, just enough to show people knew that last name. I looked down at the file: drunk driving, speeding, failure to maintain lane, and something else that made my stomach tighten, leaving the scene after a crash, even if it was brief. I raised my eyes. "Mr. Vexler, good morning." He did not say good morning back. He looked around like he was bored, like my courtroom was a waiting room for a better life. His lawyer spoke for him. "Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Vexler is here to resolve this matter quickly." I nodded once. "We will resolve it fairly." Then I turned my eyes to the other side. A man stood near the aisle, holding a worn baseball cap in both hands, twisting it like he was trying to squeeze the nerves out of it. He looked about 46. His coat was thin for winter. His hands were rough. His eyes were tired in a way you don't get from one bad night. You get it from many hard years. I asked him gently, "Sir, please tell me your name." He cleared his throat. "My name is Calvin Rourke, Your Honor." "Mr. Rourke," I said, "why are you here today?" He swallowed. "I'm the one he hit. Not hard like in the movies, but my car got clipped. I spun. I hit the curb. His voice cracked. "That car is my way to work." I watched him closely. "What do you do for work?" "I'm a night janitor at a middle school," he said. "I clean the halls after the kids leave. I mop, I scrub. I pick up the things people don't see." I nodded slowly. "And how long have you done that?" 8 years, he said. "It's not fancy, but it's honest. And I don't miss days. I can't." I asked, "Why can't you?" His eyes flicked down to his shoes. "My daughter, Mia, she's 12. She's got asthma." He said the word like it was heavy. "That means her lungs get tight and she can't breathe right. We need her medicine. We need the car to get to her doctor." I could feel the courtroom lean in. People understand a kid who can't breathe. Then I looked back at Mr. Vexler. He shifted his weight like Calvin Rourke was a bug on his shoe. Landon's clothes were loud money, a watch that sparkled even under court lights, clean white sneakers that looked like they had never touched mud, a black leather bag with a gold zipper sitting on the defense table like a trophy. He leaned toward his lawyer and whispered something. The lawyer tried to shush him, but Landon spoke anyway, just loud enough for many to hear. He said, "Is this the part where the sad guy tells his sad story, so I'm supposed to cry?" The gallery made a small sound, like one big breath pulled in at the same time. I held up my hand. "Mr. Vexler." He looked at me like he was doing me a favor. I said, "You are in Providence Municipal Court. We treat people with respect here. You will not mock anyone in my courtroom. Do you understand me?" His lips pulled into a lazy smile. "Sure, respect. Got it." I watched him for one more second. I did not like that smile. It was too easy. Then I said, "Let's talk about the night in question." I asked the prosecutor, "What does the state have today?" The prosecutor stood up with a neat folder. Her nameplate read Ada S. Molina. She spoke clearly. "Your Honor, this incident happened on a Friday night. Mr. Vexler was stopped after a witness called 911. The witness reported a silver sports car swerving, speeding, and striking a dark blue sedan." I looked at Landon. "Mr. Vexler, did you have anything to drink that night?" His lawyer answered fast. "Your Honor, my client admits he made a mistake. I held up my hand. I asked him. Landon rolled his eyes. "Yeah, I had drinks." "So what? Everyone does." I leaned forward. "Not everyone gets behind the wheel after." He shrugged. "I was fine." Ada Molina opened her folder. "Evidence number 1, Your Honor. The officer's body camera audio and the roadside breath test." I listened as the audio played. I heard the officer's calm voice. I heard Landon laughing. I heard him say, "I'm not drunk. I'm famous adjacent." I looked up. "Famous adjacent?" Landon grinned. "It means my family is famous. You know, people like me don't get treated like normal people." The room went quiet again. Not a full silence, more like a warning silence. Ada Molina continued. "The breath test showed a result above the legal limit." I kept my face steady. "Mr. Vexler, you hear that?" He waved his hand. "Those things are always wrong. Plus, I was tired, and stressed, and whatever." That was the first confrontation. Small, sharp disrespect. Like a dart. Not deadly by itself. But it showed his aim. Then Landon leaned closer to the microphone. "Can we move this along? I have a flight." I said, "You don't set the pace here, I do." He made a small laugh. "Okay, Judge. Whatever you say." I could feel the heat rising in the room, but I stayed calm. I have learned something in my life. When a person wants to drag you into the mud, they know the mud better than you do. I don't fight in the mud. I stay on solid ground. Ada Molina turned a page. "Evidence number 2, Your Honor. Call logs and text messages from Mr. Vexler's phone, collected under proper process." His lawyer stiffened. "Your Honor," I said, "if it was collected the right way, I will hear it." Ada Molina read from the printed record. At 11:42 p.m., after the crash, Mr. Vexler called a contact saved as Rico Fixit. Then he sent a text, "Need this gone, like now." The courtroom made a soft, shocked murmur. I looked at Landon. "Who is Rico Fixit?" Landon's smile slipped for the first time. "Nobody." Ada Molina kept going. At 11:46 p.m., there is another text. "I can't get a DUI. Dad will kill me. Make it disappear." Then at 11:50 p.m., another message. "I'll pay double." I turned to Landon. "Mr. Vexler, are you telling me you tried to pay someone to make this disappear?" He snapped. "I was stressed. I didn't mean it like that." I asked, "Then what did you mean?" He looked around like he wanted the room to help him, but the room did not. The room was done helping. His lawyer stood fast. "Your Honor, my client is young. He panicked." I nodded once. Young and panicked is not the same as innocent. Landon leaned forward, and this time his voice got louder. "This is stupid. People text dumb stuff all the time." I said, "People don't text 'I'll pay double' to a man named Rico Fixit unless they are trying to fix something." His jaw tightened. "You're twisting it." That was the second confrontation. He was not just disrespectful now. He was challenging my authority, like my courtroom was a stage and he wanted to grab the microphone. Ada Molina lifted another item. "Evidence number 3, Your Honor. A private security camera video from outside a gas station near the crash. It shows Mr. Vexler's vehicle pulling in after the collision. He exits the car. He stumbles. He looks at the front bumper. Then he wipes the hood with his sleeve like he is trying to remove prints. Then he gets back in and drives off. The screen was turned so I could see it. I watched the young man on the video. He did not look fine. He looked like a kid trying to walk on a boat in rough water. He was swaying, he was careless, and he was afraid. but only afraid for himself. I looked up from the screen. Mr. Vexler, do you deny that is you? He stared at the video like it insulted him. It's blurry, Ada Molina said. Your Honor, the plate is visible. The clothing matches what he was wearing when stopped. The timestamp matches the calls and texts. Landon laughed, but it did not sound happy. It sounded mean. Then he turned his head and looked at Calvin Rourke, the janitor, like Calvin was the enemy. He said, if your car is so important, why don't you just buy a better one? Oh, right, because you can't. Calvin flinched like he got slapped. The gallery started whispering. I heard someone say, oh no. I heard someone else say, he didn't. I felt something change inside me, not anger, something colder, like a door closing. I said, Mr. Vexler, watch your mouth. He looked right at me and shrugged. What? I'm just being honest. I asked Calvin, Mr. Rourke, how much did it cost to fix your car? Calvin swallowed. The estimate is $1,840, Your Honor, and I missed 2 shifts already. That's $312. I wrote it down. I looked at Landon again. Do you know what it means to miss $312 when you live paycheck to paycheck? Paycheck to paycheck means you spend almost all your money just to live. Rent, food, bills. There is nothing extra. Landon smirked. Sounds like a personal problem. That line hit the room like a match thrown into dry leaves. I saw Ada Molina's eyes widen. I saw the bailiff straighten up. I saw Calvin's shoulders drop like he was trying to make himself smaller. Then Landon's lawyer grabbed his arm and whispered hard, but Landon yanked his arm away like he hated being guided. He leaned forward again, voice louder now, looking at me like he was daring me. And then he said the words that turned the whole day upside down. Viral moment. He said, Listen, Judge, I don't care about your little courtroom rules. My last name is a VIP pass. If you don't let me walk, I'll call my dad and you'll be back to judging parking tickets in a closet. For 10 full seconds, nobody moved. Not one cough, not one chair squeak. It was like the air got taken out of the room. I felt my face change. I did not smile. I did not blink. I just looked at him, and I let the weight of his own words hang there. Then the gallery erupted. People were talking over each other. I heard, did he just threaten the judge? I heard, that's disgusting. I heard someone laugh in shock, because sometimes people laugh when they can't believe what they heard. The bailiff stepped forward 1 pace. His hand hovered near his belt, ready. I raised my hand slowly and the room quieted. Not because they were calm, but because they wanted to hear what I would do next. I said very softly, Mr. Vexler, thank you for showing me exactly who you are. Act 3. The Reckoning. I took a breath. I kept my voice level. I did not want drama. I wanted truth. I said, Landon Vexler, I am going to speak, and you are going to listen. He started to talk, but I stopped him with one look. Landon Vexler, I said again, you came into my courtroom like you were walking into a club. You thought your money was your ticket. You thought your name was your shield. I leaned forward. Let me ask you a hard question, Landon Vexler. When you were swerving down the road, were you thinking about the families in other cars? He looked away. I asked, when you clipped Mr. Rourke's car, were you thinking about his daughter who needs medicine? He swallowed, but he did not answer. I said, you didn't even ask if he was okay. You didn't stay. You didn't call for help. You called Rico Fix-It. You texted, I'll pay double. That tells me your first thought was not, did I hurt someone? Your first thought was, how do I save myself? His lawyer tried to speak. I held up my hand again. I looked right at Landon. Then you stood here and mocked a man who cleans a school at night. You acted like honest work is something to laugh at. I turned my head slightly toward Calvin, then back. Mr. Rourke is the reason those halls shine when kids walk in. He is the reason parents don't have to worry about filth. He is the reason teachers can teach in a clean place. I looked back at Landon, and you called his struggle a personal problem. Landon's eyes flickered. He opened his mouth, then closed it. I said, now let's repeat your own words, Landon Vexler. You said my last name is a VIP pass. You said I don't care about your little courtroom rules. You said you would call your father and I would be back judging parking tickets in a closet. I paused so everyone could feel it. Landon Wexler, I said, those words are not just rude. They show a sickness in your thinking. Sickness of thinking means your mind is stuck in a bad way. It hurts you and it hurts others. I said, this court is not a closet, and the rules are not little. The rules are what keep people safe. The rules are what protect the rich and the poor, the famous and the unknown, the powerful and the tired man holding his hat in his hands. I pointed gently toward Calvin's cap. That hat tells a story. It tells me Mr. Rourke goes to work even when life is heavy. Then I looked at Landon's watch. And your watch tells a story too. It tells me you can buy shiny things, but it does not tell me you have character. Character means who you are on the inside when nobody is clapping for you. I asked, do you want to be a man with a famous last name or a man with a good name? His throat bobbed. His eyes lowered. I said, because right now, Landon Wexler, your last name is loud, but your good name is quiet. I could feel the room settling. People weren't whispering anymore. They were listening. I said, I believe in second chances, but a second chance is not a free pass. It is a job. It is work. It is humility. Humility means you stop acting like you are above others. I leaned back and I said, now we will talk about consequences. Act 4, Sentencing. I spoke slowly, stage by stage, so there was no confusion. First, I said, financial penalty. I looked at the clerk. The court imposes a fine of $1,500 for the drunk driving offense and related violations. Landon's lawyer inhaled sharply, like that number annoyed him. I continued, in addition, restitution. Restitution means paying back the person you harmed. I looked at Calvin. Mr. Rourke, you said repairs are $1,840 and lost wages are $312. That totals $2,150. I looked at Landon. Landon Wexler, you will pay $2,152 to Mr. Rourke within 14 days, not 15, 14. Proof of payment must be filed with this court. Landon's lips pressed tight. Second, I said, license consequences. I looked at him. Your license is suspended for 9 months. During those 9 months, you may not drive any motor vehicle, not yours, not your friends, not a rental, not a quick run. I leaned forward. After 9 months, you may apply for a restricted license only if you complete a safe driving course and prove you have not violated any conditions. Third, I said, community service. He looked up, and I could tell he expected the usual kind. Pick up trash for a weekend, take a picture, go home. I did not give him that. I said, you will complete 220 hours of community service. His eyes widened. 2, I held up my hand. You will do it at the Providence Road Safety Outreach Program. I explained, simple and clear. That means you will help people who have been hurt by bad driving. You will not be in a back room. You will be in front of people. I looked at the clerk and read the plan into the record. Schedule. Every Saturday from 8:01 a.m. to 2:00 p.m. for 20 Saturdays. That is 6 hours each Saturday. That equals 120 hours. I continued, and every Tuesday and Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. for 25 sessions. That is 2 hours each session. That equals 50 hours. I paused. That brings us to 170 hours. I said, the remaining 50 hours will be completed through supervised work at the program's Vehicle Safety Lab, where you will help check car seats for families, assist with helmet fittings, and set up safety events. I looked at Landon. You will learn what it means when a parent says, my child could have died. His face went pale. I continued. You will report every 2 weeks. The program director will sign your hours. If you miss, you do not make excuses, you make time. Fourth, I said, public accountability. I watched his eyes narrow. He hated that phrase already. I said, you will write a handwritten apology letter to Mr. Rourke. Handwritten means with a pen, not typed, not emailed. You will read it out loud in this courtroom at your review hearing." Landon's jaw clenched. "That's—" I raised my hand. "You will also record a 60-second public safety message, a short PSA. That means public service announcement. It is a message to help the public." I kept it simple. In that message, you will say what you did, why it was wrong, and what it could have cost someone. I added that PSA will be shown at 2 Rhode Island high schools and 1 driver's education class only after court approval. No jokes, no music, no fancy edits, just truth. "Fifth," I said, "special conditions." I looked at him. "You will complete an alcohol education program within 60 days. You will attend 12 meetings. You will bring proof." I paused, then I said the part he did not see coming. "And because you threatened this court, because you tried to use your father like a weapon, I find you in contempt. Contempt means you disrespected the court in a serious way." The room got still. I looked at Landon. "This is not a game. This is not a show. This is not your family's private room." I nodded once to the bailiff. "Bailiff." The bailiff stepped in. I watched the metal cuffs come out. I heard the small click as they opened. The sound was sharp, like a door locking. Landon's eyes went wide. "Wait, are you serious?" I said. "Very serious." The bailiff placed Landon's hands behind his back. Landon's expensive jacket wrinkled. His watch caught the light as his wrists turned. The cuffs closed with a sound that made the whole gallery go silent again. I said, "For contempt, you will serve 48 hours in the adult detention center." His lawyer jumped up. "Your Honor, please." I held up my hand. "No." I looked at Landon. "You will have a review hearing in 30 days. Case 2026 TR 78412 returns to this courtroom on March 5, 2026 at 9 a.m. You will stand right where you are standing now, and you will show me proof you have started to change." Landon's face was red now, not with power, with shock. I said, "Take him," and the bailiff guided him away. Act 5. Aftermath, Transformation Arc. 30 days passed. A courtroom can feel like a clock, one case after another, one story after another, but some cases stick in my mind like a song you can't forget. On March 5, 2026, Landon Vexler walked back into Providence Municipal Court. He looked different, no flashy jacket, no loud watch. His hair was still neat, but not perfect. His eyes looked tired in a real way, not a rich kid bored way. He stood straighter. He did not smirk. I asked, "Mr. Vexler, good morning." He swallowed and said, "Good morning, Your Honor." That was the first time he spoke like he understood where he was. Ada Molina handed up paperwork. "Your Honor, the defendant has paid full restitution to Mr. Rourke. He has also paid the fine. He has completed 4 Saturdays of service so far and attended 6 alcohol education meetings." I looked at the papers, then at Calvin Rourke, who was sitting quietly in the back. Calvin stood when I nodded to him. He looked better too, not rich, not suddenly easy, but steadier. I asked him, "Mr. Rourke, did you receive payment?" "Yes, Your Honor," he said. "He paid it. On day 10. I asked, "And did he apologize?" Calvin hesitated, then nodded. "He did. He showed up at my work site with the program director. He shook my hand. He looked me in the eye. He said he was sorry." I turned to Landon. "Is that true?" Landon's voice was low. "Yes, sir. It's true." I said, "Do you still believe your last name is a VIP pass?" He shook his head fast. "No, sir." I leaned forward. "Then tell me what you believe now." He took a breath. I believe my life was worth more than other people's, and that was wrong. I was driving like I was the only person on the road." He blinked hard. "Those 48 hours in jail, nobody cared who my dad was. Nobody cared what shoes I wore. I was just a person who messed up." I watched him closely. Real change is not loud. It is quiet. It is heavy. He continued, "At the safety program, I met a mom whose son got hit by a drunk driver. She showed me a picture of him in a baseball uniform. He was my age when he died. The courtroom stayed still. Landon said, "I keep thinking that could have been someone because of me." His voice broke on the last word. I didn't smile. I didn't clap. I just nodded once. Keep thinking and keep working. Final scene. Plus moral. After court ended, I sat for a moment, alone on the bench. Sometimes people think justice is just a number, a fine, a suspension, a few days. But to me, justice is also a mirror. I held that mirror up to Landon Wexler, and he did not like what he saw, but for the first time in his life, he could not buy a different reflection. I thought about Calvin Rourke cleaning school halls at night so his daughter could breathe. I thought about how easy it is for power to bully the weak, and how important it is for a courtroom to be the place where that bullying stops. In my court, your last name does not matter. Your money does not matter. What matters is your choices, because the road does not care who you are, and neither do I.